Riker's DS9 episode is a Star Trek remake of Jack Ryan's first movie. Commander William T. Riker is best known for his loyalty, charm, and unwavering dedication to Captain Picard aboard the USS Enterprise D. But in one unforgettable Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode, Defiant, Riker, or rather, his near-identical transporter clone Thomas Riker, abandons his typical Starfleet morals and hijacks a warship. Surprisingly, the episode doesn't just stand out because it plays with doppelganger drama or crossover fan service. It mirrors the plot structure, political paranoia, and espionage thrill of Jack Ryan's debut film, The Hunt for Red October 1990. In fact, Defiant is essentially Star Trek's own covert tribute to the classic Tom Clancy techno-thriller. From a stolen ship and an ideological defector to the balance of galactic power hanging on a single maneuver, the beats of The Hunt for Red October are all here, but updated with phasers, Cardassians, and the moral ambiguity of the DS9 era. Let's explore how Thomas Riker's Deep Space Nine mission functions as a cloaked remake of Jack Ryan's first and most politically charged adventure. The plot parallels a rogue officer, a hijacked vessel, and a dangerous gamble. In The Hunt for Red October, Marco Ramius Sean Connery is a Soviet submarine captain who steals the USSR's newest stealth sub, the Red October, and attempts to defect to the United States during the Cold War. What begins as a military crisis between two superpowers slowly unravels as CIA analyst Jack Ryan Alec Baldwin realizes that Ramius may not be a traitor, but a man trying to prevent nuclear catastrophe. In DS9's Defiant, Thomas Riker, created in a TNG episode years earlier due to a transporter malfunction, has joined the Maquis, a rogue group of ex-Starfleet officers fighting against Cardassian aggression. Disguising himself as his Prime Universe counterpart, he boards Deep Space Nine, seduces Kira into trusting him, and hijacks the USS Defiant, a heavily armed prototype warship. He then vanishes into Cardassian space on a covert mission, supposedly to destroy a hidden military installation. Both stories revolve around a highly trained officer who commandeers a powerful, game-changing military vessel. Both involve hidden motives behind apparent betrayal. And in both tales, Federation or U.S. leadership is faced with an impossible decision: risk a war or trust in the humanity of one man who's gone rogue. Ramius wants peace, not destruction, and so does Riker, even if his method is far more confrontational. Cloak and Dagger, the Espionage Corps. The Hunt for Red October is as much about strategy and statecraft as it is about submarines. Jack Ryan has to outthink his own government and the Soviet Navy to predict Ramius' next move. He dives deep into psychology and subtle signals, interpreting every decision as part of a layered gambit. Likewise, Defiant is arguably the most spy thriller-like episode of Deep Space Nine's early seasons. It thrives on deception, misinformation, and misdirection. Riker deceives the DS9 crew with surgical precision, right down to flirting with Major Kira and using his knowledge of Starfleet protocols to commandeer the Defiant with minimal resistance. Once he enters Cardassian space, the Cloak and Dagger game escalates. He's not just blowing things up, he's chasing a shadow fleet, acting on intelligence the Federation won't acknowledge publicly. The espionage mood is heightened by the presence of Gul Dukat and the Obsidian Order. Just as Ryan must deal with both American and Soviet bureaucracies, Sisko is caught between Starfleet's deniability and Cardassia's internal politics. When Dukat realizes that his own intelligence agency is building an illegal fleet, the story becomes less about stopping Riker and more about uncovering secrets that could unravel a fragile peace. Moral ambiguity and gray areas. Jack Ryan's stories thrive on shades of gray. Ramius is a Soviet officer, but also a man of principle. Ryan is a CIA agent, but his weapon is empathy and intellect. In Defiant, Thomas Riker blurs the lines in a similar way. He's a Starfleet-trained officer who's now technically a terrorist, but he hasn't lost his conscience. He doesn't fire on civilian targets. He doesn't kill the Defiant's skeleton crew. He takes insane risks not for glory or revenge, but because he believes Cardassia is hiding something that could kill millions. This isn't classic TNG-style idealism. This is DS9's morally layered storytelling at its best, where everyone has a point and no one walks away clean. Kira initially supports Riker, then condemns his recklessness. Sisko negotiates not out of diplomacy, but out of necessity. Dukat and Karina's of the Obsidian Order represent rival factions of a totalitarian regime with their own shadow wars in motion. This complex interplay of motivations, alliances, and betrayals is very much in the vein of Tom Clancy. The enemy isn't always the enemy. The hero might have to compromise. And sometimes, the best-case scenario is that no one pulls the trigger. A new kind of warship. The Red October is a symbol. It's a revolutionary submarine with a silent propulsion system that can strike without warning. Its existence changes the balance of power, which is why the US and USSR treat it like a diplomatic time bomb. In Defiant, the namesake ship plays a similar symbolic role. The USS Defiant is DS9's ultimate expression of war readiness, small, fast, and brutally overpowered. Starfleet built it to fight the Borg, but reassigned it to DS9 during escalating tensions with the Dominion and Cardassians. Its theft is more than a tactical threat, it's a message. If one Maquis agent can steal the ship and take it into enemy territory, how stable is the peace? Riker's use of the Defiant mirrors Ramius' use of the Red October. Both men are making a statement. They wield powerful weapons not to dominate, but to force transparency, draw attention to buried secrets, and demand accountability from the people in charge. The final negotiation. In both stories, the climax isn't a massive battle or explosion. It's a tense negotiation based on mutual understanding and the need to prevent a war. Jack Ryan convinces the Americans to let Ramius defect and the Soviets to pretend the Red October was destroyed. In Defiant, Sisko uses his diplomatic skill and his knowledge of Cardassian politics to broker a deal. Riker will surrender, the Defiant will be returned, and the truth about the Obsidian Order's fleet will be swept under the rug to preserve the peace. Thomas Riker doesn't die in battle. He doesn't escape either. Like Ramius, he trades his freedom for the chance to do something bigger than himself. He forces people to pay attention. And for that, he ends up in a Cardassian prison, out of sight, but never out of mind. Legacy and impact. The hunt for Red October launched an entire franchise and reshaped the techno-thriller genre. Defiant, meanwhile, is often underrated in the Star Trek pantheon, but it shouldn't be. It's a brilliant piece of character-driven espionage drama that redefines what a Star Trek story can be. It shows that DS9 was willing to borrow from grounded, real-world thrillers and blend them seamlessly with sci-fi lore. It also gave us one of the most compelling uses of Thomas Riker, a character who could have been a gimmick but became a symbol of rebellion, conscience, and sacrifice. Just like Ramius. Both stories endure because they understand that sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't a warship, it's the truth. Final thoughts. A Star Trek spy thriller done right. By adapting the core structure and spirit of the hunt for Red October, Star Trek Deep Space Nine crafted one of its most fun,